So what do you get when you want a boot and you want to pay so little that you don't care if it's even resolable? You get Portland leather goods, or their sub-brand Patina, and the extremely heavily advertised breaker boots. And yes, the pull tab broke on week 2 of wearing them. This is Nick at Stridewise.com. That's a channel and a website about casual stuff that lasts a long time, and a very good example of that is good boots. And Portland Leather Goods is very deliberately targeting the industry juggernaut Thursday boot company with the breaker boot. You just can't talk about Portland without talking about the extremely similar Thursday Captain boots in terms of aesthetics and market placement. Like, look, my God, look how similar they are. Some people complain about how widespread Thursday ads are online, and I get it, but the way that Portland has been gunning ads for these boots, it's wild. One article said that Portland hit $100 million in sales by now, which includes the bags that launched the brand. And I'm just realizing I saw a guy with the Portland leather backpack on the New York subway this week, actually. So anyway, look, the gold standard for constructing a boot is the Goodyear welt, which makes it very easy to resole. Goodyear welts are expensive. Usually a pair of boots made this way costs at least $300. And Thursday rejuvenated the industry by managing to make Goodyear welted boots for under $200, $199. And also by popularizing this dress boot hybrid that makes it easy to pair with slimmer fitting pants and typical work boots, easy to wear smart casual, that kind of stuff. Now, generally speaking, a resole of a boot costs $100, maybe $150, depending on where you live, but maybe less. And Portland has this simple proposal. What if guys actually want boots that look like Thursday and don't care if they're built like Thursday? They'd rather just pay as little as possible. Like, what if people don't actually care if their boot can be resoled or don't think it's worth it to get them resoled, and the stability and comfort of a Goodyear welted boot with a leather midsole and cork filling just doesn't really matter to most customers? You know, what if we sold a boot that looks just like Thursday's and is made worse? Or, I mean, it's a bit of a mean way of putting it, made more simply. And what if you can get a boot even cheaper than Thursday? Like, looking just like Thursday's most popular boot. Anyway, that's Portland's gamble. And if you think I'm being cynical with this angle, that's more or less exactly what the founder said on the Full Grain podcast, minus using the word Thursday.
Why not do a recraftable boot? And how are you approaching sustainability?
I've worn both, and I liked the other one better. That's number one. It just is. Number two, it's a better price. Number three, I tried to talk to the market out there, and other than people that are nerds about boots, no one even knows what the hell it is.
And I mean, that's true. But they should still make it clear on their product page. Like, the website doesn't say how they're constructed, even though the fake welt they put on these might suggest that they are Goodyear welted, but they're not. Rather, the site emphasizes that these are artisan handmade with 183 detailed steps made by third-generation family-owned boot makers, designed in Portland, Oregon. There's a nice little sleight of hand there, hoping you'll think it's made by boot makers in Oregon, but they're made in Mexico. And there's nothing wrong at all with boots being made in Mexico. Portland just isn't very forthcoming with what the product actually is, in my opinion. I mean, check out their product page yourself, let me know if I'm wrong. Anyway, look, I've been running these for about a month. I've kind of already given most of my thoughts, but let's run through the bits and bobs. The brand is called Patina. And when you're buying leather boots that can't be resoled, then you must be really leaning on the leather quality, right? So where's it from? I don't know. They don't tell you who makes the leather. They do the thing where they say it's made from premium US cowhides, but that doesn't mean that it's tanned in the US, and this leather definitely isn't produced in the US. At this price point, it is certainly tanned in Mexico, probably near their factory. Again, nothing at all wrong with that, just like, tell me what I'm buying here, please. I actually even wrote to them and I asked where is your leather from, and they said, our boots are made in Mexico. And it's like, all right, well, that's something that you can put on your website, but like, where's the leather from? You know, anyway, they redirect quite a lot. Now, this leather I got here is called Canyon. And look, it's fine. It's thin, but it's fine. It's got a fair amount of oils and waxes in it. You can see when I fold it here that you can see like some of the oils moving around a bit and gets like lighter there. That's generally good for like weather resistance and longevity. You know, there's not too much work to care for it. It is thin though. It's about 30% thinner than the leather you get on a pair of Red Wings boots, which are like 2 to 2.25 millimeters. These are 1.65 millimeters thick, which is also significantly thinner than Thursday's leather. But this isn't really sold as a work boot, to be fair. Like, the leather doesn't have to be thick, and they're not that expensive. So, you know, I'm not upset about the leather uppers, like, to be honest. Like, there's a kind of a warped fiber structure in certain places. That doesn't bug me so much. Like, you see how it looks like a little bit drier around the foot break here? that just means it has like a tight grain and like it maybe wasn't lasted with the right amount of heat. Like this is sort of like high-end dorky stuff to worry about. You shouldn't expect ultra high quality techniques like that, like amazing clicking, like really thick leather, premium US tanneries, that kind of stuff. And so for the price, again, it's thinner than some boots, but like for the price, it really is. It's I'm not too beat up about it, you know, and it's definitely better than like Doc Martens leather, which I think is atrocious and not that much cheaper than this boot. And as you can see, with just a few weeks of wear, they do look quite old, don't they? Like I haven't worn them for that long. I wore them long enough to pull tab to break, which wasn't that long, but they sort of have an accelerated patina, which you might get from the name. Like it looks beat up and well loved fairly quickly, which for a lot of guys they really like. When boots are made with better leather, they do take a long time to look so beat up. These ones look a year old after a month. They are sold, or they should be bought as your kick around throwaway boots. So to be honest, again, the leather looking all beat up, nice and fast, is probably gonna be a draw for a lot of guys, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can wear boots wherever you want. And these aren't dress boots. Just note that the leather is thin, won't last for as many years of really hard wear as more expensive boots, but then again, they can't be resold, so maybe that doesn't even really matter to you. Probably not. As the construction, I've said it a million times, this is not Goodyear welted. Fine. That's fine for the price point, not so fine for the marketing that is insisting these are the best boots on the market. If you can't resole it, will the sole at least last a long time? You might be asking. Like it's thick and luggy, so it shouldn't wear down for ages, right? Well, I mean, like maybe if you're getting Vibram Commando sole or something, but this is Portland's own sole, and if you look closely, you can see it's already getting chipped away after just a few weeks of wear. So it's not a very good sole. Like I've got plenty of boots that are inexpensive. I've got some boots for under $200 that I've worn for a year, and nothing has come off of the sole. These are a few weeks, and it is getting worn away faster than it should be. So like, if I was making a boot that can't be resold, I'd make a really tough outsole to at least make up for that, and you're not quite getting that here. Now the boots are pretty water resistant, to be fair. I stood in a puddle in them for a few minutes and it kept my feet dry. That said, this construction isn't that durable, so I don't want to say it will be water resistant for as long as you own them, because the glue isn't stitching. Like there's less of a promise that they'll be this watertight in a year. That's not to say that it won't be. I just mean like glue is less reliable in terms of longevity than like properly stitched boot construction. And the comfort is also not going to be like a boot over time either. Why? Because in addition to the leather upper being very thin, this is a cemented boot without a leather insole. It's leather topped foam. And there's no cork under the insole. And without those things, the thick vegetable tan leather insole, cork filling, the fit is not going to improve that much as time goes on, which is a big perk of boots. Now, they are very lightweight as a result of all that cost cutting in the construction. They weigh about 640 grams each. For reference, my Thursdays are about 800 grams. My Red Wing Iron Ranges are 890 grams. My Knicks boots are 1180 grams. So I imagine, as the CEO said himself, most guys won't care about the lack of cork. They'll just be glad they're not too heavy or too expensive. The market placement, like how they advertise it, they shouldn't be acting like these are like, world-changingly amazing boots. The site says go true to size, and it is wrong. My true size is 11.5. I told them this, and they said, great, we'll send you an 11. And 11 fits me just fine, with like a good thumbs width at the end of the boot. They have no wide sizes at the moment either, but with a company this big, I'm sure they eventually will, because it's just a massively successful company. And the price is unbelievably low at $165. Actually, that's not true. I would say, if this is a Goodyear welted boot for under $200, I would say it is unbelievably low. For a cemented boot with this sort of construction, this is a believably low price, $165. So here's the thing, the price isn't that bad for what you're getting. I just don't know why you wouldn't spend $30 more to get Thursday, which, while not the fanciest, heaviest, thickest boot on the market, gives the same aesthetic with thicker leather, more leather options, more widths, and you get the cork and leather midsole that will like enhance comfort over time. Like Portland is fine for the price. Thursday is very good for the price. And the price is just so close to Thursdays. Like Portland's it's so close. I think there are just that many advantages. I don't think $30 is that much when you're talking about boots that'll last you a long time, especially given the Thursdays. Again, they're better made, they're more durable, they last for longer. By the way, I keep mentioning Thursday because the two brands are identical as far as aesthetic goes, and also as far as like market placement and who they're going after in the market and their digital presence and all this kind of stuff. Like it's really like a one-to-one thing in the market. But like, to be fair to the industry at large, I don't want to act like there's like nothing else. There are no other good boots under $200. There just aren't many that look that also look like this, you know, in this price point. So there's I mean, the best one people talk about is Blackbird. That's a company in India that makes boots. They tend to be under $200. They're Goodyear welted. They got some interesting stuff there. If you want to look for other options in this price point, there's Meermin, but those are $260 for their lace-up boots. So that's not really, that's $100 more than Portland. So you can't really say it in the same sentence as well. There's Beckett Simonon. Their boots are a little rounder at the toe, but they're fairly similar. You can get them for about $200 with my discount code, but the leather is not as good quality as Thursday, and also they take like 3 months to get to you. There is Stacey Adams and Golden Fox, which might be the closest as far as aesthetics go, but like the construction and leather is not on the same level as Thursday or even Portland. I mean, maybe technically you could argue that their construction is higher quality than Portland because they are welted, those boots, but it's still not very high quality and they'll be hard to resole too many times and so on. There are some brands that are under $200 and are resolable but don't look anything like the Breaker boot. So I'm thinking of Jim Green, that's one out of South Africa. There's also that Mexican brand Siete Leguas, which I thought had some boots that look similar to this, but they don't really. They don't really have service boots like that, so that's not quite a one-to-one. But I did have to have this section where I'm like, I'm not saying the only two brands in the world are Portland and Thursday, but brands in this price point that look like this, it's really just these two that you're talking about. So that's why I've got to do these comparisons with the two of them, especially also because that's the first question people ask about Portland is, how does this stack up to Thursday? Hats off to fellow boot YouTuber buddy Rose Anvil for finding this out. Portland doesn't even have a leather midsole. They have a fake leather midsole. And they also have a fake welt going on the perimeter that is not a Goodyear welt. Like, you see how you can pull it away from the side here, and the side doesn't say it's cemented, or where it's made, or where the leather's made. And like, it's one thing to have a cemented boot that is inexpensive. And that's all right, the price is fine for that. It's just another to position it as premium and hide or obfuscate details like leather midsole and welt and country of origin and leather of origin. Like, I don't think that's cool. The company is obviously, the design and honestly the whole company is obviously designed after Thursday. Like, they saw Thursday's success and said, all right, let's try that, make it a bit cheaper and see how we go. And they are finding tremendous success with that. I don't think the price difference is big enough that it's worth not paying just like a little bit extra for better longevity, better leather, better comfort, that kind of stuff. So I say pay extra for those benefits and also fix your tabs.